Guys, we're back.
Hey.
Jackson just had a mental breakdown because he figured out a major plot point.
Cause I'm smart.
This is the point where a lot of people usually figure it out.
I figured out a lot though.
Yeah, he did. I helped, but he did.
Let's do Natsuki.
So before we start, are you Team Monica or are you Team Sayori? Are you gonna switch on Chestnut? Or are you gonna stay true to Monica? Who do you still want to go for?
Monica.
Alright, okay, who do you want to read next? His heart is breaking. I wish you could see his face. It's
I
pathetic.
feel like I'm diving her deeper into the to the depths.
Who do you want to read next?
Natsuki.
Okay. Are you gonna cry? He looks like he's about to cry.
Get over it.
Well, I can admit that it's better than the last one.
Oh, thanks.
It's nice to see that you're putting in some effort.
Yeah, because it's not the opposite of what she likes now. It's not what she likes, but it's not the opposite.
Yeah. That's good.
Come to think of it, this kind of reminds me of Sayori's poem from yesterday.
Huh? You think so?
I want breakfast. Best
Well, I
line.
thought this was a couple days later. I thought this was a couple days later.
No, it's like you've been there for a couple days.
Oh, okay, I get it.
So today's
Sorry.
day 3.
Got it.
Yeah, well, I guess if you've been friends with her so long, you might be on the same wavelength. But you never really struck me as her type.
Sayori has a type all of a sudden.
Well, I don't know, but honestly, how can someone so, fluffy spend so much time with someone like you? It's like she's dragging around a dead weight.
Okay.
The only one more freaking degrading than you.
That's a little unnecessary, I think.
Now you know how Sayori.
Yeah, and I can't stop it because this jackass takes over my mind.
keep reading.
But think of it this way: if it weren't for me, she would probably just fly away, like let it go of a balloon. You could say we take care of each other in our own ways.
Whatever it is, I don't get it. Oh yeah, I guess I'm supposed to show you my poem. Here.
Amy likes spiders. You know what I heard about Amy? Amy likes spiders. Icky, wriggly, hairy, ugly spiders. That's why I'm not friends with her. Amy has a cute singing voice. I heard her singing my favorite love song. Every time she sang the chorus, my heart would pound to the rhythm of the words. But she likes spiders, and that's why I'm not friends with her. One time, I hurt my leg really bad. Amy helped me up and took me to the nurse. I tried not to let her touch me. She likes spiders, so her hands are probably gross. That's why I'm not friends with her. Amy has a lot of friends. I always see her talking to people. She probably talks about spiders. What if her friends start to like spiders too? That's why I'm not friends with her. It doesn't matter if she has other hobbies. It doesn't matter if she keeps it private. It doesn't matter if it doesn't hurt anyone. It's gross. She's gross. The world is better off without spider lovers, and I'm gonna tell everyone. How's that one make you feel?
I understood every single little bit of obvious symbolism in it.
Good.
Not bad, right?
You evil bitch.
Quite a bit longer than yesterday's.
Also quite a bit darker, Natsuki.
Yeah.
Yesterday was way too short. I was just warming up. I hope you didn't think that was the best I could do.
No, of course not.
Anyway, the message is pretty straightforward in this poem. I doubt I have to explain it. Sometimes you can explain complicated issues with much simpler analogies, and it helps people realize how stupid they're being. Like anyone would agree that the subject of this poem is an ignorant jerk.
Do you know people like... Yeah, honestly, it sounds like racism, honestly. If anything.
I don't know if you understood the poem then.
No.
Of course.
I understood it.
It's about how everyone thinks that doesn't matter. It can be about anything. I wrote it to be easy to relate to. hobby or a guilty pleasure. Something that you're afraid if people find out they'd make fun of you or think less of you. But that just makes people stupid. Who cares what someone likes as long as they're not hurting anyone and it makes them happy? I think people really need to learn to respect others for liking weird things. Well, oh, that's you.
Well, you're definitely right. Okay, okay, I know her. All right, I'm just gonna ask a question. I'm not gonna spoil it. Well, I know.
Right, but it's like I said, this is another part that you start figuring stuff out.
All right. Question, and I'm just I'm gonna make it completely like you understand it.
Yep.
Does she like it?
Does Natsuki like it, or does the person like it who this poem is about? I don't know.
Okay,
I'm gonna say no.
Keep going. At least I can relate to that. And I'm sure a lot of other people can too.
It's what I do best, after all. I don't like writing unless there's a good message to take away from it. Like conveying emotions is important. But I want to make people think, not just feel. Remember that. I'm gonna write a good one for tomorrow, too, so look forward to it.
Okay, we'll be writing for Natsuki tomorrow.
We don't have to. We'll still get her poem.
Yeah, I know, but I have a theory. The ones that say, like, I'm going to write an amazing poem tomorrow.
Okay, we can go for Natsuki. That way we get all three.
Yep.
That's what I did.
Yay!
Let's go for Yuri. Let's see what creepy shit you gotta say. Let's see what you've written for today. This is pretty good, Jackson. Were you influenced by seeing everyone's writing styles yesterday?
I guess you could say that.
I was also a bit surprised by how differently everyone writes. So I respect you for trying new things. You don't need to be afraid to be a little more daring. Metaphors can go a long way. Yeah, she's like, please go back to my writing style, because my writing style's the best. Don't feel like you need to work your brain like turning a bunch of gears. Try letting your mind wander through your feelings. And write down the things you see and hear. Let your mind wander, as long as it wanders to the same place as mine do.
Yeah, this is getting kind of creepy.
Yep. That's one way to truly enable your reader to see into your mind. That's a very intimate exercise.
I see. It's a certainly interesting technique. Thanks for sharing.
I have, an example of that, if you'd like to read it.
Of course. Is this the poem you wrote for... Wait, she said that her last poem wasn't as dark as she usually is. Yuri not as intimately hands her poem.
The Raccoon. It happened in the dead of night, while I was slicing bread for a guilty snack. My attention was caught by the scuttering of a raccoon outside my window. That was, I believe, the first time I noticed my strange tendencies as an unordinary human. I gave the raccoon a piece of bread, my subconscious well aware of the consequences, well aware that a raccoon that is fed will always come back for more. The enticing beauty of my cutting knife was the symptom, the bread, my hungry curiosity, the raccoon an urge. The moon increments its phase and reflects that much more light off of my cutting knife, the very same light that glistens in the eyes of my raccoon friend. I slice the bread, fresh and soft. The raccoon becomes excited. Or perhaps I'm merely projecting my emotions onto the newly satisfied animal. The raccoon is taken to following me. You could say that we've gotten quite used to each other. The raccoon becomes hungry more and more frequently, so my bread is always handy. Every time I brandish my cutting knife, the raccoon shows me its excitement. A rush of blood, classic Pavlovian conditioning. I slice the bread, and I feel myself again. Would you like to say something, Jackson?
I love it! It's an awesome, amazing, best thing I've ever read ever.
I was a little more daring with this one than yesterday's.
I can see that. It's a lot more metaphorical.
It's not really.
And cutty.
It's not really, but yeah.
Wait, I didn't...
Sorry, I clicked.
Sorry.
That's right. It's a bit closer to my preferred writing style.
But not there?
Using the poem as a canvas to express vivid imagery and conveying emotions through them.
Very, very stabby emotions. Yeah, if I take it as a face value, then I can't even figure out what they're supposed to mean.
Well, I think it's something that different people can relate to in their own way. I wanted to express the way it feels for me to indulge in more unusual hobbies. It's those sorts of things I'm usually forced to keep to myself, so I sometimes enjoy writing about them.
Huh, that's funny.
Hi. Bye.
Huh, that's funny. Didn't Nasaki also write something about that? About someone being ridiculed for a strange interest?
She did?
Yeah. She was talking about how it didn't matter what you're into as long as you're not hurting anybody.
She's right. I mean, does she really feel that way?
So it actually does matter which one you go to first.
I will say it's best that you went to Natsuki for this, because I mean, like, yeah, okay. It pieces it together.
Yeah.
There is a correct order, but then there's also, you could do it in whatever order, but there is an order where
Sounds
it makes
like
the most
you
sense.
two have that in common.
That's interesting. To me, she seems like the kind of person who would make fun of my hobbies. But I suppose that's my fault for judging, isn't it? Please don't tell her I said that.
So you're into the same stuff, huh? Okay, just good information. Don't worry, I have no reason to.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing it with me. After all, if I hadn't learned to embrace my own weirdness, I would probably hate myself. I might be ranting a little bit now, but I'm glad that you're a good listener. So, what do you think about Yuri's poem? What are your thoughts? You're allowed to say them at this point. This is the time where people usually figure it out, so you're allowed to say whatever thoughts
Spoilers,
you are.
she is cuckoo bananas crazy, and she probably wants to kill everyone that's not going to... anyone who I show slight interest in is probably going to die. I'm pretty sure she's a yandere.
That's his theory. But what are your thoughts on her poem?
I think I may be the raccoon. Like the bread, the book was the bread. The book was the bread.
The book was not the bread.
The book was the bread.
The book was not the bread.
Was the bread? Pavlovian conditioning. They are very motivating.
I'm just gonna say you didn't read it well enough. Maybe some of our viewers will understand, but you did not read well into it enough.
Okay.
Okay, everyone. We're all done reading each other's poems,
I have
right?
to go over these again.
I have something extra planned today, so if everyone could come sit at the front of the room.
Is that about the festival?
Well, sort of.
Do we really have to do something for the festival? It's not like we can put together anything good in just a few days.
Okay, they are really hyping up this festival thing.
Yeah.
We'll just end up embarrassing ourselves instead of getting any new members.
That's a concern of mine as well. I don't really do well with last-minute preparations. Don't worry so much. We're going to keep it simple, okay? We won't need much more than a few decorations. Sayori has been working on posters, and I've designed some pamphlets we can give out during the event.
Okay, that's great and all, but that doesn't tell us what we're actually going to be doing for the event.
Sorry, I thought you heard about it already. We're going to be performing.
Performing what?
Monica. Yeah, we're going to be having a poetry performance. Each of us are going to choose a poem to recite during the event. But the cool part is, we're also going to let everyone else come up and recite poems too. Sayori's putting it on all the posters in case anyone wants to prepare ahead of time.
Sayuri, who's been coloring a poster, holds it up for us to see.
Are you kidding me, Monica? You didn't already start putting those posters up, did you?
Well, I did. Do you really think it's that bad of an idea?
Well, no. It's not a bad idea. But I didn't sign up for this, you know. There is no way I'm gonna be performing in front of a group of people like that.
I agree with Natsuki. I could never, in my life, do something like that.
Imagining it, Yuri shakes her head in fear.
Guys!
No, Sayuri. I understand where they're coming from. Remember that Natsuki and Yuri have never shared their poems with anyone until just a couple days ago. It's a lot to ask for them to recite their poems out loud to a whole room full of people. I guess I kind of overlooked that. So I'm sorry. But I still think we should give it our best. We're the only ones responsible for the fate of this club. If we start the event and each put on a good performance, then it will inspire others to do the same. And the more people who perform, the better we'll be able to show everyone what literature is all about.
Yeah! It's about expressing your feelings, being intimate with yourself, finding new horizons, and having fun!
That's right. And those reasons that we're all in this club today. Don't you want to share that with others? You know, at this point, you can just say your ideas out loud.
Probably, but I don't want to spoil it for people.
At this point, people figure it out, so it's good to say your theories now. That way people can point it out and laugh when you're wrong later.
I was wrong, wasn't I? Okay.
To inspire them to find the same feeling that brought you here in the first place. I know you do. I know we all do. And if all it takes is standing in front of the room for 2 minutes and reciting a poem, then I know you can do it.
Honestly, what brought me here were cupcakes. Natsuki and Yuri remain silent. Sayuri looks worried. I guess that leaves me no choice. I agree. I don't think it's too much to ask. I think that Sayuri and Monica have been trying really hard to get new members. So if I had chosen either Natsuki or Yuri, then I would have sided with them instead of Sayuri.
No, you still let her grade.
Oh, okay. At least
it has to move the game forward. If you had said no, then that would have been group voted, no festival.
Okay.
There's gonna be a festival.
Alright. The least we can do is help them out a little bit.
Well, maybe, but...
It looks like Natsuki doesn't have any arguments left.
Okay, fine. I guess I'll just have to get it over with. Alright.
Whew. Thanks, Natsuki. What about you, Yuri?
Yuri dejectedly glances around at everyone else. Expectant faces, I'm sorry.
You're good. I guess I don't really have a choice.
That's everyone! You're the best, Yuri!
This club is seriously going to be the death of me. Oh gosh. You'll be fine, Yuri. But anyway, let's move on to the main event.
Okay, it's not only your death that I'm worried about at this point.
I want each of you to choose a poem of yours. We're going to practice reciting them in front of each other.
No way!
Monica! This is too sudden! Well, if you can't recite your poem in front of the club, how do you expect to do it in front of strangers? Oh no. Don't worry. I'll start off to help everyone feel a little more comfortable.
Can I go next?
Of course. Now let's see. Alright, I think that's a pretty good place to start.
Yeah, okay, we'll see you next episode.
Bye, guys!